Tonight's episode is supposed to be about the 1974 holiday horror classic, Black Christmas. Whether or not that goal was achieved is debatable. Enter at your own risk.
I just want you boys to know you're doing a great job. I just stopped in to drop off this lamp. Kinda reminds me of my first wife. She only needed one of them fishnet stockings too. She used to love to ride that tandem bicycle. Used to make us ride it everywhere. To the store, to some other stores. Those were crazy times, it was wild. She was a bitch. Alright, I'll see you boys later. Happy holidays.
Every fucking year, dude. Fuck you, Ralphie.
Black Christmas.
In 1974, on a cold Toronto Christmas, or somewhere in the United States,
The movie's suspiciously vague about this issue.
in a sorority house filled with at least half Canadian actors who don't seem to have anything else better to do over the Christmas holiday than to stay at school, which undoubtedly their parents are paying for.
Nice choice, assholes.
Your parents spent their entire adult lives saving up all of their post office job money so that you don't have to end up a soul-sucking housewife cleaning up mac and cheese and dog shit, and you don't even have the decency to pay them a visit over the holidays! Are you even listening to me?
I'm bored.
So what's your favorite Black Christmas movie?
Black Christmas.
Is it?
It'd have to be, wouldn't it?
Mine's a Medea Christmas.
Oh, is that really your opener?
Somebody call IHOP, cause I need pancakes!
You know, you'd think at some point the inventory would get done.
Yeah, but it never gets done. Not when you're selling sweet merch like we do. We're gonna get that bonus this Christmas. I guarantee it.
Bonus. What are you gonna do with your bonus?
I'm gonna put in a swimming pool.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Really?
That's what I was thinking. Well, there's really no reason for me to have a pool if you're gonna have one.
Especially since we live in the same house.
In the same basement.
You know how our boss is super great, but for some reason he made us come to work on Christmas Day? He's kind of like Scrooge, except Scrooge actually let that guy off from work.
Did he?
Yeah.
I think he let him off because he was fired.
What's his name, dude? Bob Cratchit. I don't know if you know that story. What's his name?
I don't know no story about Bob Cratchit.
You don't know Christmas Carol?
I've never seen it.
Really?
Never heard of her.
There's 50 movie versions.
No, I've seen some of them.
It's like a 100-page read. Anybody could read it.
Let's see, I've seen Scrooged.
Classic.
I think I've seen that Jim Carrey animated one.
Really good. That one's really mostly faithful to the book. Bob Zemeckis directed it.
Yeah.
The man Bob.
The what?
The man Bob.
The man Bob. Wait, what's his name? Bob Zemeckis.
Or Robert.
Robert. Well, what about Robert Clark?
Robert Clark, who's that? Did he direct a movie?
He did a couple.
Where's he from?
Minneapolis.
Is he really?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I think he's Canadian.
He's not Canadian, he's American.
Oh, no, he's American, but he made a Canadian
I feel like
movie.
he started off making like exploitation movies in Florida and then decided to go to Canada because Canada's a smart place.
Did you know that Elvis Presley's favorite horror movie was Black Christmas?
I might have known that because Elvis Presley was the shit
Yeah.
and he had the best taste in the world.
Yeah.
If you look into the types of movies that Elvis Presley loved, he was the coolest guy in the world. That's a fact.
Yeah, his family still watches it every Christmas,
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That's a smart choice.
him included.
You know how much I love Halloween. Halloween's fucking amazing. I love it. It's like my favorite horror film of all time. But Black Christmas, while I'm partial to Halloween, is just as fucking good.
That's what I was thinking. I actually
Like,
think
that's
I
a-
prefer it.
Yeah, like, but like that's the thing is like, as a guy who's been obsessed with Halloween since I was like fucking 7, I'm like, Black Christmas is right the fuck up there with it in terms of quality. And like the actors are fucking amazing. The direction is awesome. That fucking villain is disturbing and makes me uncomfortable, and I don't want him to be there. These guys were having a good time
Yeah.
before you showed up.
Let me just say that first phone call, best phone call in cinema history as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It was,
Scream can take their opening phone call and stick it somewhere because it doesn't hold a fucking candle to what Billy has to say.
you know, I read that John Carpenter actually envisioned Halloween as a Black Christmas sequel.
Yeah.
Did you read that?
Yes. Here's the crazy part. John Carpenter became friends with Bob Clark. Do you know that? As in, John Carpenter told Bob Clark how much he loved Black Christmas. And he asked Bob directly, he said, if you made a sequel to that, what would you do? And Bob Clark said, easy. He's like, I wouldn't do Christmas again. He goes, but I would set it in the fall the next year after Black Christmas. And he goes, I'd probably call it Halloween. But it'd be Billy would return and be the same killer, but it would just be a slightly different holiday because he didn't want to repeat the same thing twice. And John Carpenter's like, that's a good fucking idea. I wouldn't say he ripped it off because that's going too far. And even Bob Clark says, look, Halloween is nothing like the sequel I would have made. He's like, John Carpenter and I became friends and he liked some of these ideas. He's like, we talked about a few things and he went on and he made a masterpiece when he made Halloween. So Bob Clark isn't offended by it at all, and he himself, he champions Halloween as they're both completely separate entities and they're both amazing.
Yeah, you'd never know that there was any inspiration from it, really, because, I mean, Michael Myers doesn't talk at all.
It was originally written as The Babysitter. It was changed to Stop Me while they were filming, and that was the working title until it got released. They changed it to Black Christmas around the time they released it. So, I mean, the point is it was written as The Babysitter. Meanwhile, John Carpenter's movie that was partially inspired by Black Christmas was called The Babysitter Murders.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you've got girls calling each other up on the phone throughout the whole movie. John Carpenter, Bob Clark. You just wished you could eat at that table.
Yeah. Been at work for 20 minutes. Let's not go too hard.
Yeah, really. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Black Christmas really, it may be my favorite slasher at this point,
You son of a bitch.
but I don't have the experience with slashers that you do. So at this point, it'll probably change. Well, I don't know. Maybe it
No,
won't.
no.
Are you saying I should come to Halloween?
I'm just so biased.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
You know, the Black Christmas was based on an urban legend.
Of course.
Yeah, what do they call it? Just the man upstairs or something? Or I don't
Something
know if
like
they
that.
called it anything.
The babysitter and the man upstairs.
Yeah. So
The phone calls coming
Yeah.
from within the house trope.
So I thought the urban legend was quite interesting. I wonder if it's true. You know, you wonder if some of these
That's the
things
thing.
are true.
You come up with an urban legend, like I would guarantee almost every urban legend was inspired by at least one event.
Yeah.
Or else you don't come up with the idea unless it happened to at least one person.
Yeah.
Then of course what happens is the story gets told about the one time it happened, and then it becomes like a thing where people just talk about it.
Because there's several versions of it.
Exactly.
You know, and I think it takes place, or it was originally a babysitter.
Yeah,
that's
who
was
the whole
watching
point, yeah.
kids. Yeah, in some stories,
and
the kids live.
Somebody calls the house and is harassing them and threatening them, and it turns out the phone call is coming from within the house.
Man, I tell you, this coffee's good.
Oh, fucking all this H2O.
It's good enough for Jehovah. There are several movies based on that urban legend.
Yeah,
like Stranger Calls.
Urban legend?
Urban legend. It wasn't based on this one, was it?
No. I bet the urban legend has died down a lot. In the age of the internet, urban legends probably don't persist like they used to.
Probably not. I don't really recall hearing any urban legends.
I remember a few.
Well, none of them certainly.
Well, see, when I say I remember a few, I remember other people I know being paranoid of them because they had heard them more than actually hearing them.
Unless you count like that Bloody Mary thing.
The Bloody Mary one, everybody fucking knows that one.
That one.
And everyone was scared as shit to do it. Except me.
I've never done it.
I did it all the time. Candyman didn't help that either.
Candyman.
Did you watch Candyman?
Yeah.
Man.
Candyman.
Because it's the exact same urban legend.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure as a kid, just hanging out in my own house, I went in the bathroom and turned the light off and said Candyman in the fucking mirror just to try and conjure that motherfucker. Because, like, I was just curious. I was too goddamn curious. Bloody Mary never showed up, stupid bitch.
You can't count on Mary.
That's why they call her Bloody Mary. She's unreliable. Bloody Mary. Never shows up. What are you gonna do?
Nothing. Fuck her. No. No. I'm saying fuck her as in whatever.
Yeah.
Just be away with you.
Yeah, take a drink when you say something weird.
My cup be running dry.
Who's your favorite character in Black Christmas? Because I'm torn, personally. I've got two favorite characters. I don't just want to like better.
Well, obviously Margot Kidder, because she's
fucking awesome.
Very vocal.
Yes.
And I don't know. I haven't really thought that much. I don't know. It might be the school marm.
That's my favorite part.
She was a hoot.
Yeah, no shit. I love when she it's sad that like the one girl comes up missing, the first girl that comes up missing in the movie, and she's trying to cover for her, thinking she's out hanging out with her boyfriend, and the dad's looking for her, and the dad's like going and looking around the daughter's dorm room, and there's those sweet ass hippie era posters, and the headmistress or whatever you want to call her has to cover for the students and shit. It's fucking gold.
And of course she was a raging alcoholic.
You know Chevy Chase is a cocksucker, right? What was the guy who wrote it? Roy Moore?
Roy Moore, I believe.
Yeah. He wasn't very happy with what Bob Clark did to the script.
Really?
No. Like, he wrote one script that was supposed to be more satirical, I think.
Oh.
A little more sarcastic, more of a wink-wink. And Bob Clark said, no, I can make this shit work.
And he did.
Then he made it work.
I really wish I could read Roy Moore's original, though.
Yeah, because he wrote it as the babysitter.
Yeah, I think it was Bob Clark that wanted it to be in a sorority house.
Yes, because it was really, like I said, it was called The Babysitter.
Okay, so Roy Moore, yeah.
He changed the setting. Because he said he didn't want to put children in danger, which a babysitter would tend to be a teenage girl. Which
And-
John Carpenter didn't give a fuck about that stuff.
Considering the urban legend it was based on, there was children in it. That's some potent stuff. I don't know what old St. Nick's been bringing me, but
He's been bringing me lighter fluid.
keeping it coming. Keep it coming.
I'm not happy about any of this.
Is that Marty Moose?
Das Boot.
Das Moose.
Yeah, Das Moose. You gotta turn it sideways so it doesn't spill and choke you out.
So the bubble doesn't get into the snout cavity.
Exactly. How about Carl Zitterer and his fucking creepy ass, unsettling score?
This movie was, the score, everything was just.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
I completely agree with you. Whatever it is you're trying to say.
I didn't expect it to be that good.
That fucking score was like fucking horrifying. Did you hear about his tricks?
I read about him.
You read about them.
I read of his tricks.
I heard him talk about his tricks.
Put a cat's head in a vice.
Meow! Do you know what he did to make that fucking ominous fucking pounding score besides actually playing notes on his piano?
Tying forks and knives and shit.
Forks and knives. Shrimp forks, he said, were the best.
Shrimp!
He said the shrimp forks were the best tool because they distorted the chords just enough.
So what'd you think about the ending?
I fucking loved it.
You like the ambiguity?
I love the ambiguity because, I mean, all too often it's cut and fucking dry.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's a switcheroo, where they're like, oh, you thought it was this guy, but it was really this guy over here. I love the idea that I'm like, I wonder if he's the killer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck, I'm not sure. It's still a little sketchy. And then the ending comes and you're like, fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Did you know the studio tried to make Bob Clark make the boyfriend, played by Keir Dullea, as the villain, which would have ruined it.
Mm-hmm.
As in, you almost think it's him because he's got anger problems.
Yeah.
He's got all of his issues and shit, but like...
And his girlfriend's trying to abort his baby.
Exactly.
That really
Which is still heavy subject matter. 40-something years later.
That really was a black Christmas.
It was the blackest of Christmases.
Murders, abortion.
Mm-hmm.
I think a child was murdered. They didn't show it, but...
the kid that turned up dead,
Yeah, they were looking for.
They didn't really show it. Like,
No,
they were trying to keep it... Like, at that time, they weren't trying to Halloween 2018 it.
No.
Keir Dullea did a fantastic job. That dude was, like, on point of, like... I want to like this guy, but I don't really trust him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, the movie really would have worked either way with an ending, but whenever the phone starts ringing over the credits, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
And you know it wasn't him.
Yeah. And you hear him in the attic.
You ask who the favorite character is. What do you think? Is it the same two choices that I gave?
Okay, I fucking love the house mother character.
Yeah.
She was awesome. But I'm torn, and I'm almost partial to Margot Kidder and her character. Because Margot Kidder is the character that didn't give a fuck. And on top of that, Margot Kidder is the person who doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And you can tell that she definitely influenced the shit out of that character. As in Bob Clark cast her because she was the fucking crazy firecracker that she was, who didn't give a fuck what anybody thought about her. Because Margot Kidder is a badass.
Mm-hmm.
And she made up half of her dialogue anyway. She would show up on set and just fucking say what she thought was funny.
Yeah.
And Margot Kidder was the shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame. It's a shame that she's most known for Superman. As much as I love her as fucking Lois Lane, she's like in my top 2 Lois Lanes. We're not gonna worry about that right now.
Well, I better jot down and get that Superman on 4K.
Just came out last Tuesday.
Yeah.
Put that on there. We gotta get that for the store for sure.
I don't know. I might still have to go with the marm. She hid her liquor.
Yeah, she was the shit. The hiding it in the back of the fucking toilet seat. Not the toilet seat, but like the water tank of the toilet. And what's funny is Bob Clark, the director, said that he was surprised to find out that most people didn't know that that was a real trick. That like tying it to a fucking string and hiding it in the back of the toilet water was like, to him as a kid, was like a normal thing that adults did. That's fucking awesome because like I remember seeing it when she was like, oh, I'm gonna grab the wire and I'm gonna pull my liquor bottle out of the back of the toilet.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking brilliant. I should try that.
Well,
if I was an alcoholic. That's what they call the holiday spirit right there.
Well, that's because he was inspired by his Aunt Mabel.
Aunt Mabel. Good old Aunt Mabel.
Aunt Mabel hid wine around the house.
Fucking awesome. I love it.
You never know when you're going to need that little kick.
No shit. People think what's crazy though is like you want to keep wine chilled. So why was Aunt Mabel hiding that shit around the house all hot?
Oh, maybe it was chilled in the back of the toilet.
Maybe in the toilet for sure.
Nice cold water.
I'll give her that.
Nice cold water in a porcelain tank.
Was she tucking that shit in the closet though, making it all hot and musty? And then again,
well, listen, I don't know.
Okay, I mean, but he was from the fucking U.S.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say it's
He was
Canada.
making his films in Florida, where it's always fucking hot and sticky.
Oh, that should be boiling.
But I really hope Aunt Mabel wasn't in fucking Georgia or Florida.
Oh man.
Down there hiding her musty, stinky fucking wine bottles. Some sour ass grapes.
Probably blow the cork out of it.
It's like the only chance you stand is the back of the toilet, but you can't tuck that shit in the closet or between the mattresses.
Aunt Mabel was pretty hardcore.
She take that sour ass old wine.
I wouldn't put anything in the back of the toilet.
No shit.
It would
Because
go-
like, as clean and sanitary and safe as it might sound, it's the principle of the thing that I have a problem with.
I'm not sure how watertight a cork is.
Exactly. And God forbid, once it's uncorked to begin with, it's fucked. It's a fucked bottle. Some watered down fucking wine. It's like drinking Welch's after that.
Yeah, if the cork gets soggy and dissolved, you flush the toilet.
Those cork bits
Wine would come out into the tank.
turning purple. The brown water turned purple.
But the sad truth is, an alcoholic would still drink it.
And here's the alcoholics. If anyone rents a movie tonight, I'm gonna personally kick their ass.
If somebody comes in the video store on Christmas, well, they're just sad.
Well, maybe I shouldn't kick their ass. Maybe I should give them a hug.
Nah.
Maybe I don't want to give a guy a hug that's got to come and rent a movie on Christmas.
Well, it depends on what he rents.
Good point. It all comes down to what they rent every time. Every time. Get the fuck out of here! Yeah. Well.
You tell that son of a bitch.
I'm going to kill you.
We're closed!
Come again.
Just want to make sure that everyone understands, at the end of the day, that Halloween's a better holiday.
Than Easter?
Easter's not even a fucking holiday unless you're Catholic.
Unless you're a Catholic